Hello, welcome in everybody. Happy Wednesday. How is everyone doing today? We are live currently on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, so feel free to join on whichever place is most convenient for you. Willow is also here temporarily, probably. She usually runs away eventually. Hi, Princess Emily. Welcome in. Happy hump day. Rams Dancer, excited to continue with the root trees. Yes, I'm so excited. I know I say that every stream. I'm always excited. I love playing games, guys. But we are going to be continuing The Root Trees Are Dead, but we're going to be playing part 2, which is called Roottreemania, which I'm very excited for because I did not even... I guess I knew it existed because at the beginning of the game, they're like, when you press new game, it says something like play part 1 or part 2, but part 2 is locked. And so I was like, oh, there's a part 2. But I just thought that that was something we unlocked. I think I just forgot about it. Or I thought it was, I didn't realize it was a whole second game. I thought it was just like another episode or something of the same game. So anyway, I'm very excited to play it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how long it is either. Worst case scenario, if it ends like really shortly, we maybe can play something else and we can like vote on what that would be. But I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably similar length. Love the eyeshadow. Thank you so much. The makeup look today is, I've done this look before, but I've never done it in pink. So it always reminds me of like fine china. But I have done it in red and black and white. But this is the pink version. And I also did some nice eyeshadow today, feeling kind of summery vibes, honestly. And these earrings I bought them from a lady in Japan from a very small little place that she had set up, like a little booth where she was selling. I bought like a hair clip and these earrings from her, and they're actually made out of fabric. And the fabric is from I think it's like old kimono fabric, and she like repurposed it into earrings, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, love that. But yeah, perfect style for weather that is getting nicer. Yes, I'm so excited. Me and my friends have been discussing doing spring camping, doing spring picnic, all the fun spring things. It's nice to have some warmer weather. Alrighty, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started with The Root Trees Are Dead. By the way, don't forget, we are trying to hit 1,000 followers over on Twitch, so I really do appreciate your support on Twitch. When we hit 1,000, my hair will be matching this makeup. I'm gonna have pink hair, and I'm very excited. I've never had an unnatural color of hair before, so I'm super excited for it. But yes, thank you to everybody who is watching and following on each platform today. Let's see here. So we're going to start the game, and you guys are gonna have to let me know about sound, because this game, as you know, has very extreme saxophone. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the home screen changed. I forgot about that. It changed to say, I'm a secret root tree. Alrighty. Know nothing about this one? Yeah, me either. Okay, so we go to new game. Roottreemania will spoil unlocked content. Make sure you've tied up any loose ends before starting. I have. I'll use slot 3. Alright, the saxophone starting in right away. I'm sorry, the saxophone on this game particularly is so annoying to me. Can't think straight when it's going. All right, so we're back here. Hello.
Hi, I'm Clark. Probably not who you expected to be. Nock, you've done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track you down.
Wait. Clark. Ooh, who's Clark? Clark is the one. Crap, guys, I've got to remember who everyone is. Clark is the one, I know I can see him on the family tree. So he had the music thing that he did with Jem, right? When they were young. And then he's the son of the writer, the lady who wrote the diaries and stuff. I can't remember her name, but she like wrote different diaries that were published. And then he is Lauren. Yes, thank you, Al. He is the son of her. And then he also had 2 marriages. Or was it 3? And he had a couple kids from those. Yeah. Okay. Done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track it down.
A lot has happened in the last year. Far too much of it public. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes, too. I never wanted to be president. I'm not great with stress. With my mother's deteriorating I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because part of the fallout of Sam's book is that everyone's coming out of the woodwork.
So his mom is deteriorating, so that would be Lauren then? That's sad. So the fallout of Sam's book. So Sam published the book. The end of... Spoiler alert.
Now that it's public knowledge that Clancy Trust covers any root tree despite their history with us, a lot of potential cousins have surfaced.
Oh.
You may have seen that man on the cover of News Time. It was a disaster for us.
Have I? Did I?
And then Miracle went and made it all about himself. The long and short of it is a lot of potential cousins just showed up. But she's not really going about it the right way. And she's not taking calls from anyone in the family. I let it slip through a mutual friend that I found you, and I was stopping in. It's manipulative, but I'm hoping she'll reach out to you. You can let her know I'm on her side. In the meantime, if you're willing, I can share our files with you. Pass them along to Sam if she reaches out. I'm genuinely hoping she'll realize I'm an ally. Feel free to do your own research. I've been told you enjoy things like this. To each their own.
Wow, so we got new evidence. What is it? Notable events. Today is August 3rd, 1999. It has been 8 months since you helped Sam Madsen with the research necessary for her book. Sam was true to her word and paid you an incredibly large sum of money. Yay! She never mentioned you by name, however, so you've managed to keep a low profile. The root trees, on the other hand, have not. Below is a summary of notable events since the book's release, though you can refresh your memory in full detail by searching online. Oh, interesting. It's like Anastasia, everybody wants to say they're a root tree for the Empress's money. Yep, exactly. Also, love Anastasia. And also, no, we're skipping the saxophone song. I love saxophone, I just don't like it in this game particularly. I feel like it's just annoying. Okay. 6 pieces. Sam Madsen's book about Elias Roottree was released in February. It was a bestseller for a few months. At the time, Carl had not yet been replaced. Okay. In March, the Roottree company stumbled publicly as they attempted to respond to the book's release with multiple conflicting press releases and a clear lack of leadership. Clark Rafferty LaRoe. Clark was announced as the permanent successor to Carl Roottree and welcomed Sam Madsen to the family officially. The company hired an outside legal group to handle the changes to the Clancy Trust. This included any other new questions of lineage. Interesting, so Clark is the new head of the company. Okay. After this announcement, there was a rash of different people claiming to be root trees, mostly dismissed as opportunists and scammers. The highest profile of these, by a wide margin, was a rapper named Felix Fellows, who changed his moniker to 5 Ps as a publicity move at the same time. 5 Ps is the only notable person on the updated tree. In another high-profile misstep, Miracle... Wait. So he claimed... What did he claim? Highest profile was a rapper who changed, but he doesn't say how he's related. Miracle Root Tree publicly and vehemently denied that 5 Piece was a root tree. The Root Tree's legal team then offered to do a DNA test to get 5 Piece to drop his claim, and in a moment that caught what seemed like the entire world by storm, the test proved he was a root tree. Suddenly, the world was obsessed with the root trees. Anonymom and Jane Doe Roottree. In July, an anonymous woman, who the press began to refer to as Anonymom, appeared in interviews with her face and voice disguised. Every time I say this, I'm going to think of Finding Nemo and anemone. Appeared in interviews with her face and voice disguised. She claimed that an affair with a Roottree led to the birth of her daughter, aka Jane Doe Roottree. Ooh, drama. If true, this would make her daughter yet another secret Roottree and therefore entitled to a share of the Clancy Trust. Nobody knew it at the time, but this would turn out to be the last chapter in the Roottreemania saga. As more and more of Anonymom's story came out, people began to notice how much it echoed 5 Piece in nearly every significant way. The court of public opinion began to turn. Confirming the world's suspicions, the DNA test, orchestrated by lawyers on both sides, proved that her daughter was not a Roottree. This final event caused public disappointment, smugness from doubters, and countless accusations of the entire ordeal being an elaborate hoax or attempt at fraud. Things got a bit ugly, and the fun of Roottreemania seemed to disappear overnight. Now, a month later, it feels like a distant memory. Wow. Okay, so just to sum up, basically. The rapper came out and said he was a Roottree. It was confirmed that he is a Roottree, but they didn't say how he was related, right? So, because Miracle was the one that said, no, he's definitely not. And then they did a DNA test, and he was a Roottree. Okay. They didn't say who he was related to. Exactly. And then in July, the lady, Anonymom, claimed that she had an affair with a root tree and had a daughter, but then they proved that was not right, that she didn't have a daughter. Sorry, that her daughter was not a root tree. So, okay. And there hasn't been too much news since then. So 5Ps is the new important person, notable person. Previously on The Root Trees Are Dead. This is a new investigation with a new focus. After many months of newfound interest in the root trees, it is recommended you try to catch up with some of what happened since last time. Okay, I did that. Some web searches may yield new or different results, and some books and magazines from your previous investigation may be relevant to your new investigation. Oh, it's also a much more widespread search. The list of first and last names you can choose from will contain red herrings. Not all of them will be used. No, so this is gonna be even harder? I'm gonna need you guys' help. Okay, below is a reminder of some of the most notable beats of your initial dive into the root tree family tree. All evidence from before is still available, and for your convenience, any searches that do not lead to new information still function as they did during your first investigation. Okay? The Root Tree Candy Company was founded by Elias and Gwyneth. The entire family has a financial reliance on the health of that company. Most of the action took place in or around Butler County, Pennsylvania, where the company was initially located. Elias, Carl, and Raina were on the cover in magazines. Other notable root trees such as Lauren, Miracle, and Jim had physical media such as record albums, books, and movies associated with them. Lauren's 2 diaries are probably the most useful resources overall, mentioning many of her relatives directly. The 5 pieces, Elias's children, could be identified based on the initials of the original candy flavors. I remember egg white, was it? Egg cream. There were 5 presidents of the Root Tree Company. Many were featured in periodicals. Caroline Morden, Stephanie Jones, and Brian Jones were featured in campaign posters and led to Caroline's art book, which enabled you to fill out more of the tree. Many of the younger root trees were found by following a complex rabbit hole through a conspiracy site that led to finding a searchable web address for Chris Rafferty, Lauren's grandson. Oh yeah. November root tree was really difficult to place. I did that quite well though last time. Our occupation could only be found via Brian Jones' company website. Ronald and his brother Robert go by Ron and Robbie. Both worked on a TV show called Brother Trouble until Robbie embezzled money and fled to Paris. Oh yeah, this family has so much drama. Ron unsuccessfully tried to have Robbie removed from the Clancy Trust. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. There were also a few dead ends, red herrings, Aloysius Herring root tree, who claimed he was a root tree, but was not. Wait, did we even know about that? Family Man, a book about Elias Root Tree, turned out to be propaganda, not useful. Lauren's other books, historical romance novels, were not very useful on their own, though could lead to other information. Caroline Morden's sculptures were not useful. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, he handed you a letter. So Clark handed you a letter that he said you could share with Sam and said the following. To both of you, the company I hired to help us with the Clancy Trust is busy pouring through the entire family's history, as well as people they may have had contact with. That said, the family is not particularly happy with this and are doing their best to slow things down. Many of them are actively avoiding our interviews. Every time there's a high-profile public case, it causes headaches. So please, I don't mind if you do your research, but I ask that you stop going to the press. Instead, we have a highly trained team of lawyers to back you up. We're ready and willing to verify anyone and everyone you believe could be realistically part of a relationship that led to the birth of a new root tree. Just tell us who to investigate by filling in the new sections of the tree, and we'll take the time to handle verifying that the timeline checks out. But keep in mind why we're here. If someone didn't have a child or has already been disqualified by our lawyers, like in the case of the girl with the negative DNA test, there won't be a place for them on the tree. We're not just looking for affairs and infidelities, we're only looking for the ones that led to potential new root trees. Yeah, this is the second part. It's way harder. Have you played it? Oh, I'm nervous. Some spots in the new section will be marked with a tree icon. Those areas are reserved for members of the original family tree you filled in 8 months ago. Just like last time, be sure to use birth names for everyone you add. Married names or nicknames won't be enough. Wait, what? Some spots in the new section will be marked with a tree. These are reserved for members of the original family. Wait, so it didn't keep the people from the original family tree? Oh, so, okay. So this is like our new, I see. So this just means there's somebody from the original tree. Okay. This is going to be complicated. To start sorting, wait, and just like last time, be sure to use birth names for everyone you add, married names or nicknames. Okay. To start sorting out the infidelities, I recommend you turn your eyes to the men in positions of power. I'd love to say that's only because it would have been a lot harder for the women to hide 9 months of pregnancy and birth without the family noticing, but I can't. I'll be blunt, I'm no stranger to infidelity. I wish I could claim that I was a perfect husband, but you've seen the family tree, so why pretend? Some of us learned how to wield our family name and fortune to our benefit. Consequences be damned. I can't change the past or unhurt those who I betrayed. Instead, all I can do is be honest with myself and to you, refuse to make any more mistakes, and do my best to sort out the various messes we've left behind. I didn't realize it's been 8 months since last week, right? So please fill in the tree, and together we can figure out how to begin to make amends. Good luck, and thank you both. Woo! All right. This is gonna be complicated. So this means infidelity, split up, final affair, first affair. Oh, wow. Whoever this was doing all kinds of stuff. So they were with 1, 2, 3, 5 different people? Who could this be? What the heck? Okay. Wait. It was all between 1975 and 1982? Somebody was busy. Okay, and then this one, possible infidelity 2. Oh, I guess these are possible infidelities. So, but this whole thing is one possibility, right? Scandalous. Yes, exactly. Okay. That person's easy? Really? Okay, possible infidelity. I mean, once I figure out the person, I feel like, I don't know. And there's a top secret envelope too. 1949, 1921. Interesting. What is this? These are 2 people on the family tree? Oh, they were married. Oh, wait, they were married. Did we not know they were married? But they didn't split up. Who could that be? Hi, Miss Wave. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Yes, cozy gaming time. So we unlocked Roottreemania. This is insanity. This is insanity. I really am gonna need you guys' help today, okay? So you need to lock in right now. Like, this is supposed to be cozy, but we gotta like, we gotta like study this family tree. This is insane. So basically part 2 involves investigating different infidelities, affairs, things that happened, and even this marriage over here, and verifying the ones that are true, like what happened and if they're actually related to the root trees. And if they are, then obviously they get money. So this is gonna be difficult. Okay, let's go back to our evidence table. So we know 5Ps, the rapper, is claiming to be someone, right? Can we look him up? Let's look him up. Okay, no more saxophone. Leave me alone. Okay, internet. Oh, we gotta connect to the internet. Ancient technology. Hi, Mama AJ. Oh, you accidentally unfollowed? I'm so glad you were able to find me again, though. Your algorithm knows you. Okay, let's see. So we gotta search. What are we searching? 5. We'll try his name and we'll try his rapper name. Felix Fellows. Okay, rapper who has found some recent radio play after being publicly confirmed as a long-lost root tree. So he was confirmed. So he's on this tree somewhere. The root trees are dead. Yes, that's the name of the game. And dial tone is so nostalgic. Yes. Okay, so he was confirmed. His alias 5Piece is a play on 5 pieces. An article you find on a website known for their particularly harsh reviews of modern music gives his most recent album, Root of All Evil, 1 star out of 7 for whatever reason, with the headline, "More poser than my action figure collection." The review mentions his real name is David and he used to go by Dirty Davy, and the author rues the fact that this rebranding was a blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. She overdosed when he was 16. Oh. Apparently only one of the songs on the album is new and the others were simply rewritten to turn blatant references to sex, drugs, and violence into clumsy euphemisms. The review mentions his his rise to prominence was kickstarted. Why is it doing that? His rise to prominence was kickstarted when he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. At first, the Root Tree company denied it vehemently. Miracle Root Tree even appeared on the same magazine a week later, but since then they've backtracked and publicly welcomed him to the family. Their press release at the time stated that they had new evidence that confirmed his story. Who rates things on a scale of 7 and not to exactly? It's either 5 or 10. Hopefully it's less confusing than it seems right now. Yeah, we'll see, hopefully. Okay, so let's go back up. So I feel like there's multiple things in here. So an article you find on a website. So his album, Root of All Evil. Let's look that up in periodicals. Would it be Modern Music Monthly? Root of all evil. Oh, nope, nothing. Okay, what about 5 peace? Nothing? Okay. What about Felix Fellows? Nothing. Okay, and then what about, what's the other one? Did you miss anything yet? No, not much. We just started. So we're investigating. This is part 2 of the root tree. So this whole tree appeared down here. And this is like affairs, infidelity, like things like that, or secret marriages that happened. And we're trying to confirm who on the tree. The green ones are people that are on the previous tree. We have to fill it in. Okay, so it's not Felix Fellows. What was his other name? Before he was 5 pieces? Dirty Davy with an A. Nothing. Okay, so it wasn't in modern Teen Blast, maybe? No, it wouldn't be in Teen Blast. So nothing in, oh, a defunct magazine. Oh, it's not, so this one's not around anymore. I see, okay. So we don't know what magazine. We don't know where, I guess it wasn't a magazine, it was just an article online. So, he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time, so we could look that up. Can I copy this? Search periodicals? Not here. Can I, how do I get a periodical to end up here? News Time 5 piece? Ah, there we go. Okay, Felix Fellows famously appeared on the cover of News Time, kicking off Roottreemania. A week later, Miracle Tree appeared on the same cover. Summary of both articles, as well as a close-up of the photo of 5 piece is holding on of the photo 5 piece is holding on the cover. Okay. Blah blah blah. Backstory stuff. Oh, there he is. 5 piece. Felix Fellows, The article concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational and initially dismissed as fake until a DNA test proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. 5 piece says that his mother, Joanna, no. Says that his mother, Joanna, was Zach Morden's secretary when he retired, and then Guy Hudson's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit, the first few weeks that he was president. His parents divorced when he was 4 after his father learned of the affair. Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store where she worked the register. The next morning, they found her dead from an overdose in her car. Aww. She had stolen all of the cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. As Felix went through her belongings, the only things he had to remember her by were a hairbrush she always used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. But then he found it, a box hidden in the back of her closet. Inside were love letters and photos related to Guy Hudson, as well as a letter from his father containing threats. He threw it all away, with the exception of the one photo he appears with on the cover of News Time. He says it was the only one where they were dressed, the only one not from the affair itself. The picture is shown in full inside the magazine and was added to your evidence. The magazine also includes some additional history about 5 Piece's career. He was born Felix Fellows to Riley and Joanna Fellows, but has never rapped about a moniker. I still don't know how to say that name. He tried to find success by opening for other artists and even by selling CDs on street corners in Portland. He's only recently started going as 5 Piece to harness the power of his lineage. The writer did some research into the truth of these claims and was able to confirm that Joanna did work for the Roottreemania Company as a secretary sometime during the early to mid-70s. It also confirmed she died of a drug overdose and that Felix went into foster care soon after. They were unable to track down his father. They also reached out to the Roottreemania Company, but at the moment the company's blanket statement was, since the release of a recent book, Roottreemania has seen an overwhelming number of false ancestral claims. None have been factual and nearly all have been knowingly dishonest. We encourage individuals to reach out to us in an official capacity as opposing to attempting to use our name in the media for publicity. All right, we obviously need a picture of him. I guess we get that picture later. Could this rapper be the next Sam Madsen? So sad. Oh, you're in Portland? That's cool. The marriage wasn't secret. We put it on the other tree. Oh, wait. What marriage is that then? You talking about this one right here? 1998. Is that the one? Was that these two? Were they married though? Or who are we talking about? I'm a little confused as to who that would be. Okay, so let's go back to this and get the picture from the other one. Stephanie. Wait, Stephanie. Stephanie. Who's Stephanie? Stephanie sounds so familiar. I feel like I was just looking at all of this, but it's been a week ago, so gotta refresh my brain. Stephanie. Who is Stephanie related to? Oh, Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie and Brian? But how do we know it's them? Are we just filling in their kid on here? 1998 is last year in this world, and she was pregnant in the picture. Oh, okay. So we don't have her picture, though. I guess we'll have to get it eventually. Okay. Alrighty. So this is Joanna and Guy Hudson were having an affair that led to his birth. Okay. What does that say? Roottreemania family picnic. So this is Joanna and this is Guy. Now on the other tree, Guy is over here, isn't he? Aha, there he is. Okay, so he's married to Patricia. So Guy was having an affair with, now he says, when did he say the affair was taking place? 1 or 2 weeks after. His secretary when he retired. Oh, she was Zach Morden's secretary when he retired, and then Guy Hudson's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit. Okay. His parents divorced when he was 4. Okay. Interesting. So then, we don't know what year, but we know he was during, do we know when Guy Hudson was born? 1908. I mean, obviously we know the newest people were alive in the 90s, right? And then they would have been like the 80s? 70s, 80s? Yeah, 5 pieces starred, that's true, so we can go ahead and fill him in. So then we can just fill in, then we know. So then this is gonna be Guy? Or is this gonna be Guy? No, this has to be Guy, because he's from the first. Let's see, Guy. Man, what was Guy doing with all these different people? Occupation, well, we know his occupation from up here, right? He was the president, the 3rd president. Or was this, yeah, he was 3rd president, right? Okay. And there's additional photos, apparently. Okay. And then, yeah, 1975 to 1982. Okay. And then this is 5-piece, but we know that his first name is Felix. And his last name, man, we have to do first name and last name. Ooh, this is so hard. Okay, Felix Fellows. And he's a rapper. How do we put this? Musician? There we go. Okay. And then this would be his mom, which would be Joanna. We don't know her last name. Right? Or no, it said her last name, didn't it? Wait, hold up. It was in here, wasn't it? Well, it's Fellows, right? No. Wait, hold up. David. Oh, he went by Dirty Davy at one point, but that's not his name. His name's Felix Fellows. So then, wait, so what did he say was his mom? Joanna, Does he say last name anywhere in here? He was born Felix Fellows to Riley and Joanna Fellows. So we don't know her maiden name. Yeah, it has to be birth name. So, I mean, we could look up and see if there's anything about Joanna Fellows. Nothing. Riley Fellows? Nothing. So, and that's how you spell it, right? Fellows? Yeah. Interesting. So we don't know her last name, unfortunately. And then occupation, she was a secretary, right? Spouse was Riley Fellows. Okay. And they split up. Yeah. So I think that's accurate. Infidelity. Yeah. Okay. We've got to start. It was mentioned in the web search. Wait, what was mentioned? The last name? Phew. Root of all evil. The review mentions his real name is David. Wait. I thought it was Felix Fellows. I'm so confused. Wait, so is it David? Is it David Fellows then? According to fan sites, Felix Fellows is not Five Piece's actual name. What the heck? His birth name was David Fellows. Dirty Davy was his previous stage name. He used to sell records and perform live shows. There's some people selling his old mixtapes on auction sites. One is apparently called Dirty Devil and another Dirt Poor. Interesting. Dirty Devil. There's discrepancies and debates about what year exactly it was released based on some of the pop culture references, with the range thought to be somewhere between 1992 and 94. One of the songs, Yes I Can Jump, seems to be at the center of the confusion. Some fan sites claim there are multiple versions with different track lists and song links on them, though because there's very little evidence of the mixtape online as it is, it's even harder to verify that information, okay? And Dirt Poor? There's a lot of online discourse from people who like to point out that in one of the songs he includes someone that would be revealed to be his own distant cousin, Raina, in a list of attractive women. The lyrics to one of the songs, Heat, mentions a few different prominent female actresses, models, and musicians from the 90s, provides a crude pun or a line about what Fellows felt about them. When re-released in 1999, much of the rhetoric was toned down to be less overtly profane, and the line referencing Raina was clumsily replaced by Dana, a reference to a character from the X-Files. Interesting. Okay. Dirty Davy. Okay. Bless you. Thank you so much. Okay. So we do know that his name is David, not Felix. Trying to throw us for a loop there. Okay. David Fellows. Yeah. Okay. So we still don't know Joanna's name. We'll figure that out though, I'm sure. What was the other piece? Oh, this. Miracle Root Tree. Whoa, he's old. Appeared on the cover of News Times shortly after Five Piece did. He vehemently denied that Five Piece was Root Tree. This article was from before the DNA test that proved it. Miracle doesn't focus much on the details of Five Piece's accusations regarding his mother and Guy Hudson. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those who he feels are attacking his family. He starts with 6 pieces content. He says that although most of the book was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Root Tree, and that Sam did the same before her. That Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. He claims that though they didn't have to, the family helped pay for her son's medical bills after voting it that it was the right thing to do. Miracle also says that the story about his father, Elias, shunning EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum. I'm gonna skip this song. A simple ultimatum: stop sinning or be disowned. Miracle says it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowing him to earn food and shelter on the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering that he and John continued to live together. Miracle then pivots to the fallout from Six Pieces. I feel like it's very ironic that he's wearing a rainbow tie. He recounts a deluge of claims to the Clancy Trust that the family has been subjected to. He doesn't cite any specifics, but says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves to arguments. They've had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrably, laughably false. All they do is tarnish his family's reputation. He focuses on Five Piece, who appears on news time before him. He calls him a grifter and a delinquent and says he is using their name and products to sell filth to the masses. Of all the accusations, he says this is the most dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. He cites Five Piece's lyrics as violent, sexist, and ungodly, and prays the boy will repent, retract his lies, and find religion. Lastly, he turns to the future. Miracle states that those that wish to hear this true story can join him on his farewell tour this upcoming fall. The Miracles Roottree are planning on touring the country's churches one last time. They always say it's the last time. And that now at age 71, Miracle is the oldest living Roottree. While he plans to continue preaching at his own church in Butler County after the tour, this is your last chance to hear the truth from the man with the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. The article mentions that Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment and has a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRoe through the Roottree's law firm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. We're working carefully on a plan to definitively disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. The article also does not refute Miracle's claim that he's the oldest living Roottree, despite Sam Madsen being born the year before him. It was unclear if Miracle made the claim out of ignorance or spite. Interesting. Okay. So we've got the picture of him now. Now, did he have infidelity somewhere in here? Because we obviously needed his picture for something. His dad's name, not Guy Hudson, was mentioned before too, I think, this being Johanna's husband. Yeah, we got it. Riley Fellows. Thank you, though. I appreciate you guys keeping track of details. Okay, so what now? Notable events. So we can search some of this stuff. Clark. Should we search Clark? He's the new president of the Roottree Corporation. This does not include Root, which appears to have its own new leadership. Oh, we gotta look that up in a minute. In early March of 1999, I was born in 1999, it was announced that both Clark Rafferty LaRoe and Ron Roottree, oh, interesting, would be taking over for what was essentially described as a transitional period in the aftermath of Six Pieces. About 2 weeks later, the company released a press statement that thanked Ron for his work, but announced that Clark was the new permanent president. Most of the information about Clark you knew already. Many descriptions of him tend to focus on his advertising career and that his mother was Lauren. Few seem to touch on his complex and volatile marital history. Since taking over, Clark has tried to remain out of the spotlight, but did have one notable foray into the public eye. He gained a lot of support when his first move was a statement in favor of accepting Sam and her family into the trust. This also served as an announcement that the Clancy Trust would no longer be handled by anyone in the family, since due to their financial motivation, none of them could ever be impartial. Alright, let's search for Root. A small memorial section to the deceased members of the family. It contains no new information. The most recent catalog has an entirely black cover with no text on it. On the leadership page, you learn that Root is currently managed by a designer who was apparently Brenda White's second in command. You don't recognize her name, and she seems unrelated to your search. There's also a scholarship page. On it, you find information about the Roottree Sisters Fashion Scholarship. It's awarded to 3 underprivileged high school girls each year who wish to pursue a career in fashion. No, thank you. Apparently, it also gives them an opportunity to show off their designs and professional models on a real runway. According to the site, the fund was created directly from shares that would have contributed to the inheritance of the Roottree sisters if they were still alive. Like other aspects of the Clancy Trust, it's managed by Ruby Legal Enterprises. Okay, we're definitely looking that up. It's the name of the law firm that has been hired by the Roottree Candy Company. The company is named after its head lawyer, Ruby Spratt. I have a feeling she's important. You can't find much about the company from before this year, though all the articles tell the same tale. After the fiasco of Six Pieces and the revelation that the Roottree's internal law group was complicit in such a cover-up, they hired outside counsel. The Ruby Legal Enterprise Group now seems to have ties to multiple aspects of the Roottree Corporation, including the Candy Company and Root. They were recently in the news due to a high-profile lawsuit they raised against Cicely Sanchez. Okay, we got several things to look up here. Ruby Spratt, first of all. Relatively elusive. The most complete source of information you can find. What is this up here? Before her time with the Roottrees is from the website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was the subject of one article from a recurring series about modern-day success stories. Okay, hold up. From the website for a magazine owned by a major airline? Silver Screen Magazine? No. Starlet? Old Hollywood. Old Hollywood. Business of Old Hollywood. Okay. Is it any of these that we own? What do you guys think? Hydrate, thank you so much. It's a lot of reading. This game has a lot of reading. We kind of look the same. Are we twinning? Are we twins? I've had multiple people on here with the same name. I don't know if I've had anybody that looks like me. That's kind of cool. Okay, so let's see. What did it say? It said the most complete source of information you can find from before her time with the Roottrees. Oh, it's from a website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was the subject of one article from a recurring series about modern-day success stories. She grew up in foster care, but excelled at school and earned a scholarship to study at Mid-Eastern University. There, she graduated at the top of her legal class and was quickly hired as a lawyer for a prominent firm. There are a few high-profile corporate-involved cases she was a part of. One was as a legal consultant for a class action lawsuit against a manufacturer of steering wheel covers. Another was to help a local gas station chain in her hometown of Portland with the rollout of a promotion that allowed gas station customers the ability to bet on the price of gas. The blurb ends by calling her new firm a double threat. Her company's services are a cross between a traditional lawyer and a PR manager. Okay, now we need to look up... Who was the other person? No, not this. This. Cicely Sanchez. Author best known for Portrait of a Changed Man, released in 1979. Her follow-up, Foreign Gospel, did not perform as well critically, but still sold quite respectably. She has written a few more books since then, including a biography of Van Gogh, but her first two are her claim to fame. According to a site about authors, Cicely is known for her nonfiction with a focus on exploring darkness and the human psyche. Recently, Cicely appeared in a magazine called Piketty with an article about a book she had been commissioned to write for Guy Hudson. The magazine and Cicely herself were immediately issued a cease and desist due to its inclusion of pictures that she never had the rights to publish. The issue was pulled from store shelves, making it an instant collector's item. Okay, we have multiple things to look up. All right, let's see here. So, we need to look up Portrait of a Changed Man. Let's just start with that one. Cicely Sanchez. So, I've never seen Cicely spelled like that. Portrait. What if everything you stand for, everything you know to be true today could disappear in an instant? All of your politics, relationships, gone in the blink of an eye. Would you still be you? Cicely Sanchez tells this powerful true story about a man who woke up after being saved from drowning in his backyard pool and became an entirely different person. Included are interviews from those that knew him best before, as well as a one-on-one chat that paints an entirely different picture. You won't be able to put it down without wondering, what if that were me? Alrighty, what's another one? Foreign Gospel. I think we can just copy this. Copy. Foreign Gospel tells the tale of a man from the Catholic Church who claims he was told by God that he should travel to Thailand and begin to preach, specifically with the goal to convert 10,000 people. He returned to the United States after just over 2 years, claiming to have succeeded. This book tells his version of the story, but the author, Cicely Sanchez, also traveled to Thailand to investigate these claims and talk with some of the so-called converted. Oh, okay. Okay, she was appeared in a magazine called Piketty. We need to see about that. So search periodicals. Can I put it here? Piketty? Does it let me do that? How did I unlock it last time? Ah, there we go. In an issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages it supposedly said as the batteries ran low, Piketty had an article about a canceled book by Cicely Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson, and the issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, this issue was pulled from store shelves, making it the subject of some conspiracies, and an instant collector's item. Due to this recall, the version found in these archives is incomplete. Okay, we definitely need to look at it though. Oh! Basil Bub? Could this popular gift be filling homes with satanic messages? Oh my, the red eyes. Oh man, okay. Cicely Sanchez reveals root tree secrets. Plus, this utensil that will help you lose 50 pounds. Oh man, okay. So, I have a really great reading voice. Oh, thank you so much. Jumping on late, excited to see where the rest of the root tree story goes. Love the makeup. You're so close to 1K. Yes, I am. I'm getting very close to 1K. Crazy. Okay, so I really appreciate you guys' help, like whenever you're remembering details, because the more eyes we have on this, or ears, the better, because this is a lot of details. Okay, so Piketty. This was an issue, The story contains an unreleased book. It used photos of Guy that Cicely did not own the rights to publish. Unfortunately, the magazine was issued a cease and desist by the Root Tree's lawyers. The magazine was pulled from the shelves, and the version you found in your periodical search had the relevant pages removed, rendering this magazine useless, unless you want to read about a potentially demonic fish toy. So it wasn't a book, it was a magazine. Oh, an unreleased book she had written about Guy Hudson. Interesting, but we don't know the name of the book. So there's multiple things on this that are important. So, story she had written about Guy Hudson, but we don't know what the story was. Maybe we can look up on Spider Search. Maybe we can... I don't know. Okay, we saw this, so... Or no, we haven't seen this yet. Who was only president of Root Tree for a few years in the late 70s and early 80s, had mostly faded into obscurity, except for the Fancy Flavors debacle. Wait, Fancy Flavors? Wait, what? Did we hear about that yet? Fancy Flavors. During Roottreemania, he suddenly rose to prominence again after Five Piece appeared on the cover of a magazine holding a photo of Guy and his mother. A few people that existed adjacent to the company in the 70s have come forward with stories about debauchery and swinger parties. Guy liked to throw large holiday parties whenever he had an excuse, and they often got very out of hand. This fact has led some people to speculate that the night he died in a car crash he was drunk or impaired in some way. But the Butler County Police have released multiple statements and ample evidence that proves decisively that it was not foul play and that no party had taken place. Root Tree lawyers have been quick to threaten litigation to anyone who has tried to disparage Guy or the company in public. Show older? Oh yeah, I remember Fancy Flavors. Caviar. Yeah, that was such a really stupid decision for him to do that. Okay. Interesting. I wonder what else is like we should search about this. Should we search Beelzebub? Just for fun. Dead. Okay, what about Root Tree Secrets? Piketty. I don't know where we would find So do we think then that he had an affair with Cicely? I figured out another affair. Are you talking about him and Cicely then? First affair. I don't know which affair it would be though. Is Cicely on the list? She is on the list. Cicely, we don't know. Well, I guess Sanchez is her last name. I probably shouldn't put her there, but I don't know which one she goes under. Oh, no, another family member? What do you mean? What other family member? Ooh, did I miss something? Miracle? Who was Miracle having an affair with? Miracle. That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who he was having an affair with. Oh, you're saying we only know that he had an affair because we have a picture of him. So most likely he's relevant to the story. I see. But we don't know her. You don't get her name yet. Yeah, we don't know who it is. So, I mean, we think it's possibly one person. We don't know if he might have multiple people. Okay. So then what else should we search? Roottreemania, the Roottree Rift, 5-piece. Okay, so we were searching this. Oh, Anonymom. We haven't searched that yet, but I guess that's probably not relevant, right? The court of public opinion. The DNA test proved that her daughter was not a Roottree. But it might be that she did have an affair, though. Second high-profile case, a potential new Roottree. Instead of claiming herself a Roottree, however, she claimed she'd slept with Guy Hudson and that her daughter was a Roottree. The accusation came during the height of Roottreemania and began with a brief TV interview. She appeared in the shadows with a disguised voice and promoted an article about herself in News Time. In the TV interview and the article, she referred to her daughter as Jane Doe Roottree. The name Anonymom was not self-inflicted. It seemed to spring up organically because nobody knew how else to refer to her. The day after the News Time article, Sam Madsen publicly supported Anonymom due to some parts of the story she found particularly credible. With the momentum from Sam's endorsement, Anonymom went on a media blitz. Ultimately, this backfired. As more details came out, people became skeptical of her story due to the extreme similarity to 5-piece. Her accusation even included many of the same details as his mother's story. This included her job, secretary, and the time period, late 70s. After fumbling the 5-piece story so publicly, the Roottrees were more prepared to handle all Clan-Sid Trust-related cases. Within a week, a DNA test proved that Anonymom's daughter could not be related to the Roottrees. This was announced at a joint press conference with lawyers representing both Anonymom and the Roottrees. Each party ensured their respective clients provided accurate samples. Immediately after the negative results were released, many of those who had already been skeptical felt vindicated. Others who had built up hope that history would repeat itself after 5-piece felt duped. Many people suspected the whole affair had been a hoax to gain fame and money. Many demanded that Anonymom be held accountable, and some people even began to attempt to track down her true identity. The Roottree company felt pressured to put out a second statement to try to curb some of the backlash, even going so far as to say, though it was scientifically proven that Jane Doe Roottree is not a Roottree, this doesn't mean that her mother and Guy Hudson were not involved in an affair. See, that's what I said. She had every right to make her claim, as it had been verified that her stories about Guy Hudson were not exaggerations. Please leave their family alone. Many people claim this high-profile anticlimax and public backlash was the beginning of the end for Roottreemania, since much of the fun was the shared fascination about secret Roottrees. Others think that, like any fad, it just ran its course naturally. Regardless, this is the final notable event related to the release of 6-pieces, and things soon went back to normal. Jane Doe Roottree has already been eliminated as a potential new Roottree by the company's lawyers, who are the ones verifying your work. Anonymom's affair does not appear on your updated tree. Oh, okay, after all that. So this is just like a random side article, I guess. Okay, but I still wanted to look up the News Time article. So News Time, Jane Doe Roottreemania. Maybe we should search Jane Doe Roottreemania. Oh, News Time. Oh, there we go. An anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time with a picture of her daughter. The first and only mention of the phrase "anonymom" in News Time came the week after, when they issued an apology for featuring her in the first place. A summary of the initial cover article has been added here. Okay. There it is. Oh, she's all blurred out. And they're blurred out too. So we can't use either one of them. Right around the anonymous woman. Homage. She holds claimed to have had an affair with Guy Hudson. She and another woman were hired at the same time during a transition period while many of the secretaries that had gone to work under Zach Morden were already gone. She says that she and the other woman were both underqualified as neither had typewriter experience. According to other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women. Guy Hudson liked to throw lavish parties, and the longer he was president, the more excuses he found. The anonymous woman posits that these parties mostly seem to be an excuse to have after parties at Guy's home, featuring much more alcohol and other substances. She claims she slept with him at one of these after parties. She confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. Guy didn't seem fazed, and they came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money on a recurring basis under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. When Guy died, the money stopped coming, and she assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the department store and hoped that nobody would ever look too closely at how she paid for her house. She told everyone that her daughter's father walked out one day and never came back. She claimed that after seeing the fantastic article in News Time, she realized that she wasn't the only one this happened to. While she never worked at the Roottree company at the same time as five-piece mother Joanna, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Felix was telling the truth right away. The article presented no tangible evidence of the anonymous woman's time at Roottree, and all the payments were allegedly made in cash. However, using details that she provided to News Time, the reporters were able to reach out to the other woman hired at the same time, who also remained anonymous. They successfully fact-checked the timeline of both women and confirmed the existence of the infamous after-parties. Five Piece's case was strengthened, and then this news story was subsequently published. So who's the other woman? Interesting. What else did we search? So we searched Guy Hudson. Oh, let's go back to this thingy. We were looking at this. So we looked at Anonymom, Jane Doe. Okay, I guess that was it that we wanted. The Roottree Rift. Do we need to search that? The 3 press releases from the Roottree Candy Company after the release of 6 Pieces were referred to as the Roottree Rift due to the clear conflicts between them. The first was fairly standard. It stated that there was no president of the Roottree Company, but that the entire family was made aware of the release, of the book, and that they would be meeting as soon as possible. Only then could they verify the legitimacy of the claims it raised and decide next steps. The second release was emailed to business newspapers 3 hours later and announced that after a vote, Ron Roottree would be taking over temporarily as interim president. It also went on to state that Ron was aware of the book, had verified the claims within, and would look into compensating Mrs. Madsen and her family immediately. It also stated that the company lawyers would be taking immediate steps with the family to revisit the Clancy Trust terms to make sure nothing like this could happen again. It was quickly clear to business reporters and analysts that the time between the 2 press releases would not have been logistically sufficient to gather a majority of the family, even using conference calls. This was reported on many news channels, and a third, much shorter press release came the next day. It claimed that a draft of the announcement was made prematurely and that Clark Rafferty-LaRoe and Ron Roottree would be taking over as the company's first joint presidents. It also stated that any compensation plan would be based on a stringent verification process. Hi, Winter. Welcome in. Okay, so... So Clark ultimately got to be president. I wonder if Clark blackmailed what's his face? What was the guy's name? Crap, how do I forget people's names so fast? Ron. So this is, let's see, Ron is over here, right? Ron was married to Tessa Green, Penelope. I wonder if Ron had an affair with somebody. And then, what's his face? Clark was like, hey, I know about your affair, and I'm going to announce it to everybody unless you let me be the president. Potentially? I don't know. And then, what was the other thing that I was going to say? Oh, look up 5-piece. Is there a news time for 5-piece? Let's see. We can check. Oh yeah, we already looked at that. We already looked it up and we got that was where we got our newspaper, our magazine cover. Will I still be playing when spring break is happening? Yes. I'll be playing. I'll be playing even when I'm gone to Thailand next month. I'm still going to be playing. We will have a different schedule next month, so I always have played from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time in the United States, but I will be playing, I think it's going to be, I'll announce the official schedule, but I think it's going to be like 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, so later at night, because in Thailand, that's actually like 6:30 to, or like 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning. Like it's much earlier in the morning there, even though it's late at night here. So I'm basically gonna have to get up really early there to stream. But I still want to continue to stream. So anyway, let's see if we can get a hint. I feel like my brain is getting stuck here. Oh, search everything on the notable events. Okay, I thought we did that already. Okay, did we search? We didn't search Roottreemania. Let's skip the saxophone song. Okay, Roottreemania immediately followed the announcement that a rapper going by 5-piece was actually a Roottree. Collectively, popular culture seemed to focus on the Roottree family and 5-piece for a few weeks before everything felt oversaturated and society moved on. Because of the 5-piece saga, an underlying through line to how pop culture treated Roottreemania was an excuse for everyday people to claim they were also Roottrees. Daytime talk shows had "I'm a secret Roottree" episodes. Oh, that's why the t-shirt on the front of the menu. Late night hosts and guests made jokes about other lost members of the family, and there was a widely shared website where you could fill in your own name to find out if you were a secret Roottree. When you submitted your name, it simply said no, with an image of Clark Rafferty-LaRoe giving you the finger. Roottreemania lasted only a few weeks, just long enough for 6-pieces to re-enter the charts and to trigger new printings of other Roottree-related media. We actually need to search the book, 6-pieces. We haven't done that yet. And to trigger new printings. This included Lauren's diaries, VHS releases of Gwyn's old movies, as well as countless other unauthorized biographies, which mostly seemed to attempt to capitalize on the Roottree sisters, Carl and Brenda. Ooh. These re-releases were too late to successfully capitalize on or extend the craze. As a result, most of them were failures, and countless novelty shirts that had variations of "I'm a secret Roottree" became immediately unfashionable, though some people still wear them, ironically. Okay, let's search for the public library. 6. Would she go under would she go under Sam Madsen or Sam Roottree? Ah, there we go. Her book was released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottree, as well as Sam's fathers, Edward Clancy Roottree and John Miller. You helped verify her story, so much of the book's core contents are familiar to you. That said, Sam has had some sections on other family secrets and rumors. Ooh, much of it didn't matter to the primary purpose of the book, and some of it is new to you and may be important to your new search. These sections have been added to your notes. Ooh, I bet those are really important. Okay. 6-pieces. Nice. Oh, there's what's his face. You get a picture of him? No? Sam's book has a few different passages about her own history with the company and the rumors and gossip she collected during that tenure. Just immediately shut the saxophone off every time it comes on. She ran the farm for a period starting around 1968 after the death of Elias Roottree until her daughter Gwyneth took over in 1984. Most of the relevant rumors coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to Six Pieces, it was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Many of their hires at the time were young, single women, and Guy often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. This was 20 years ago, and Sam warns that most of it is hearsay. Still, you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. Oh, according to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Okay, we just got so much information. Hold up. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. So one of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met. Okay, so this was during 1968 to 1984? 1968, so somewhere in the 70s probably. Elizabeth had a daughter, so somebody in the 80s, who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Okay. Her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't feel comfortable switching partners. So she didn't feel comfortable switching partners, but then did she end up switching partners? And she ended up being with, because she ended up eloping with this restaurant owner. Let's search Antonelli's really quick. Antonelli's in, wait, where would this be at? What is the name of this town? Antonelli's in, oh, what did they say it was called? Butler County? Pennsylvania? Should I just search Pennsylvania? Isn't there still going to be a bunch, though? No? Saxophonist in chat. Butler County Times? Okay, let's see. Periodicals. Butler County Times. Antonelli's. Oh, that was the wrong one. Italian restaurant has been in Butler County Times twice. The most recent time was when it closed in 1992. The owner, Rochelle Zimmer, sold the land the building was on, and at the time of the article, she was unsure if the restaurant would move to a new location or if she would retire. Many years before that, there's a puff piece from Valentine's Day, 1978, that asked recently married residents of Butler County how they met. Christine Garland responded she and her husband Steve, who was a chef at Antonelli's, met years ago when she delivered produce from her mother's farm. Steve used to work extra hours just to be there during her deliveries. Although they grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers, they reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Now she has a bun in the oven, and they're both working as much as they can. She's a secretary, but went back to delivering produce on the weekends. Trying to save up money to move to Boston, open their... Okay, right. So... I'm gonna lose my voice today from all this reading. So, Christine Garland. How is she? So she is the daughter of Elizabeth. She worked as one of Guy's secretaries. And Elizabeth had come, the daughter had come, Christine had come with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Getting hungry thinking about the Italian food, I know. Oh, what's your favorite Italian food? I think mine's lasagna. I love lasagna. Okay, also, what's everybody having for dinner? So how are they connected to anything? Christine Garland. Because, so apparently, I guess maybe she had an affair with, or not an affair, but maybe she was with, I guess it wasn't an affair because he was married. She was with Guy, but then she got married. So maybe this is her, because she got married to the other guy. Yeah, maybe this is her over here. So I need to change this. So Christine Garland. Yeah. And then what was his name? Rochelle. No, that was Rochelle Zimmer. Steve. We don't know his last name. Unless his last name is Garland and her last name is something else. Yeah, we don't know his last name. Okay. So... Nochi. I just had nochi last night. So good. One of my friends made it and had like a creamy tomato sauce on it. So good. Love it all, but would have to go with lasagna too. Pierogies. Mmm. So good. Are pierogies Italian? Are they? They're really good though. Steve Garland. So, so his name is Garland then. I see. So it's not her last name. So Garland, and then we don't know her last name. Unknown. Guess we'll figure it out eventually. Okay. So she's another secretary that worked for him. Oh, you're having pierogies. I was like, wait, are pierogies Italian? Nice for dinner. Yummy. I think we're going out for dinner tonight. We should go out on Wednesday nights. What was the girl's mother's name? Oh, you're right. Ooh, smart. Elizabeth? But we don't know her last name. Ah, crap. Okay, so that's one thing that we know, or that we looked up. Okay, next thing. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding to markets previously untapped by Roottreemania. However, when he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and Guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meetings with distributors and manufacturers. It was said that he bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage, instead of it being a natural course of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. So Elias and a secretary named Elizabeth. Oh yeah, I need to search Stephanie. Okay, but wait a minute. So I'll do that in just a second. So Elizabeth, is another secretary, and we think had an affair with Elias. So not this. So this would have been, would this be 1949? Where's Elias? Gwyneth. Gwyneth. That's not Gwyneth. Nope, not allowed. Gwyneth. That's Gwendolyn. Who the frick is Gwyneth? I hate all these names that sound so similar. Gwendolyn. Wait, Gwyneth? Gwyneth. Gwyneth. Okay. Wait, so Elias. So this would be 1908 was when they founded the thing. So 1921 would have to be. So he would be the one from the family tree. So this would be Elias, right? Elias Roottreemania. Yeah, he's the original. And Elizabeth something. We don't know her name. And we don't know her picture. Now he is what do we call him? Is he the president? The first president? Yeah, first president. Okay. Interesting. Wait, and they had a baby? Okay. So much scandal. Okay, so this was Stephanie. So we need to search Stephanie on here. Wait, what is she? Stephanie Jones? Seems Brian Jones has been busy updating Stephanie Jones' campaign website. 2 new sections exist. The first is baby photo. There you see a picture of their new family together in the hospital. According to the site, our daughter was named after her grandmother, which ended up being very fitting considering she was born the night before Christmas. The second is what's next. There's not much of a substance there right now, but it lists some small accomplishments and finishes with the recent rise in popularity and controversy surrounding my extended family, there's been some extra attention on me. Stay tuned for announcements in the coming months about how I plan to use this publicity to accomplish bigger and better things. Oh, here. Aw, cute. Adorable. Following the birth of their newborn girl, his new daughter is wearing an adorable little Santa hat, and his wife Stephanie is giving her signature thumbs up move from her campaign literature. Now, question. She said that she was born the day before Christmas. Stephanie is related to... She was named after her grandmother. So this is her mother, and this would be her grandmother? So Clara? Right? Or maybe she's saying, sorry, maybe it's a grandmother on her side. Sorry, on his side. Maybe it's not. Because of some gluten issues, because of some stomach issues, I've had to give up gluten and really minimize carbs. And the saddest thing about that is missing out on all my favorite Italian foods. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks so bad. Being gluten-free is really, really difficult. I have one friend who is gluten-free, and she can't tolerate any gluten from the United States, but she can eat gluten from Europe and from Japan. So she'll buy like products that she sees at like World Market or different places online that have been made in Europe or in Japan, and she doesn't have any stomach problems from them, which I thought was so weird. Isn't it Christmas related? Yeah, it's gotta be Christmas related. Baby's grandma. Yeah. Oh, baby's grandma. You're right. Oh, wait. So if it's the baby's grandma, then this is her mom. Oh, so it would be her. So Eloise and Caroline? Eloise and Caroline. Carol? Would it be Carol? Let's see if Carol's on the list. Like a Christmas Carol? Yeah, Caroline. Okay. Let's fill that in. So that's, wait, where did that go? Over here. Oop. Let's first put in, so this would be Stephanie, and this would be, we can't put a picture? Oh, let's put a picture. Brian. Brian Jones and Stephanie. Wait, what is her original name? Landon? I think it's Landon. I might be remembering wrong, but yeah, it is. And she's in politics. Okay. And then this is the baby. And this is Carol. Or Caroline. I think it's Carol. Carol Jones? Aha. Cute. Unknown occupation. She's just a baby. She's just a little baby. Nice. Whew. Finally getting somewhere. Nice. Yay. Stephen Garland. Brian Jones. Yay. Okay. Oh, somebody's here. Hello? Oh, it's her.
Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson about the last few months of my life. 3 different people contacted me, claiming that somewhere in their history, they might be root trees.
Oh.
First, that young man, the rapper. I ignored that one. He seemed dubious. But then I saw the news. I felt terrible, so I began helping the others. Because my doubts with Felix were so misfounded, I ended up putting too much faith in the second person that approached me. I went to the media prematurely. I admit my mistake there, but the third person who contacted me also had a credible case. Before I could help, the company got to them somehow. The fact that the family silenced them doesn't seem to fill me with hope when it comes to Clark's intentions. But you're making progress based on the leads he gave you. It's really hard for me to get a read on him. I'll let you handle it. I've sent you the case I've been working on, and some company records I managed to track down.
Ooh, nice.
The records are quite dense, but hopefully they're useful. Good luck.
Woo! Okay. All right, let's see. I want to see, first of all, what was confirmed. So, those were confirmed. So, she's not confirmed, obviously. So, but this is correct. We know it's correct. But because these two are confirmed. But we just need to get her last name. And then, so we need to be on the lookout for Joanna's last name. We also need to be on the lookout for Christine's last name. Ooh, this was also confirmed. Perfect. And they did have a child, but she also had a child with Guy. Okay. And then, what else? Nothing else was confirmed. Oh, wasn't there Cicely Sanchez we were putting on here potentially as him having an affair with? Okay, and then Elias Roottree, we need a picture of. We could search Elias Roottree. Not much information on him. Okay. Let's see what's over here. You were given some partial staff records to cross-reference by Sam Madsen. I'm gonna skip this song. These records are based on old tax mailing information and only detail the employees that work directly for Roottree or in their corporate office. The many laborers on their farms and in their factories are not listed. You're not sure how helpful it will be except for cross-referencing Guy's secretaries and visits overseas. Spider searching people just because they're listed in these books will likely be very time-consuming and a waste of your time. Okay. Office staff. Edward Roottree, Lloyd. Okay, Elizabeth Cravensworth. Nothing. Now this was under Zach Morden that Elizabeth worked there. Elizabeth Cravensworth. Now, there's also a Beth that works there. Oh, this is office staff. So, she would be a secretary though. Product management. I love how it's always the kids that out the affairs. Who's Beth? Eli C. Roottree. So this is Beth. Samantha Madsen, John Miller, Elizabeth. Oh, there's another Elizabeth, but that's in Farm and Max Spring. Oh, that's the other Elizabeth. Okay. So this is under Zach, and this is Beth Knox. Joanna Robertson. Oh, there she is. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for spotting that. Joanna Robertson. Wait, that's not Joanna. Where'd she go? Oh, up here. Robertson. Nice. Okay, perfect. And then, is there a Christine? I think she would be under the other, but Beth Knox could be a thing. Because the kid did ask who's Beth. Christine Farrow. Oh, wait, because Elizabeth Farrow was in farming and she said it was her daughter. Wait, let's look at the second page. In 1977, it was announced that Zach would be retiring, Guy would be taking over. They held a retirement party in November. Guy Hudson replaced Ernest Madsen Jr. Patrick Decker was hired. Christine Farrow was hired. Joanna Robertson's no longer listed, but a Joanna Fellows has been added to the list. So, wait, so it's not Joanna. That was under Zach. The last list was under Zach's leadership. So it's Joanna Robertson then. Joanna got married while working for Guy. So do we still think it's Joanna Robertson? And then Beth Knox. Oh, they're no longer employed by Roottree. That's interesting. Christine Farrow is no longer listed among the secretaries, but a Christine Garland has been hired. Okay, so it is Christine Farrow. Okay, there's some suspicious stuff going on here. Okay, Christine Farrow. I've never heard of that as a last name. Okay, and we don't know what she looks like. Can we search Christine Farrow? Is that how you spell it? How did you spell it? A-R-O-A-H. Yeah, I think that's right. Nope, nothing. All right. Okay. Robertson is Joanna's maiden name, yeah. So we put that up here, right? Yeah. Beth Knox. So we know it's Beth Knox now, but we don't know which one of these is Beth Knox. Now, what did we see? Didn't we see, hold up. Where was it? On this that we saw about Beth? Ah. Oh, Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Okay, but that was with Elias, so that was a long time ago. Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, so that wouldn't be... Would that be accurate? Beth would just be really old? Because Beth would have worked under Elias. So then if we go back to... My timelines are getting messed up in my mind. So this would have been in this would have been under... This would have been in the 70s. So Beth would have been old. Would have been the same Beth? Ah, Beth Knox, 50-year work anniversary bonus. Yes, it was Beth. Well, that just confirms it. Okay. So John Miller's no longer employed by Roottree. Gwyneth Madsen was hired. Okay. Zach Morton retirement party. Okay, so yeah, so it's definitely Beth. Okay, so we know she was old now. Yep. Beth Knox. Okay, and she was a secretary. Man, this family was just all over the place. We don't have a picture of her. Now, can we search? We could search Beth Knox. Search in the Butler County Times? Nope. What about in Business Watch? Probably not. What about in... Who else were we searching for? Was there somebody else? I love secretaries, yeah. We're just assuming the name is Beth. Well, they said... So I do think it's Beth because they said in the... in this... that the kid had said... Sam says her son Ernie once asked, who's Beth? Because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. So, as far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth. Oh, but she never met her. Oh, so maybe it is Elizabeth. But I think also it might be, I think it might be Beth. I don't know. Elias in Butler County Times? Nope, nothing. Oh, I spelled Roottree wrong. Appeared in Butler. Almost everything you find in the first few pages of results are the same types of things you can find with a basic internet search. He invented 5 pieces, blah, blah, blah. So nothing important about him, I guess. Okay, so let's go back to this. So that was page 2. Then page 3. In 1978, Guy Hudson took over. This began a particularly volatile period in the company's staffing. Many travel expenses were listed, and Guy began to develop new 5-piece flavors. The following changes were recorded. Leadership. Guy Hudson replaced Decker M. Morden. Edward Roottree, Elizabeth Cravensworth, and Lloyd Carpenter are no longer employed by Roottree. So Elizabeth Cravensworth. Raffertunes is now listed as office staff. Albert Cross and Fred Cross are no longer employed by Roottree. Interesting. Christine Garland is no longer working for Roottree. Beatrice Watts and Corinne Schwartz were hired. Juliet McCullen and Doris Mays are no longer employed. Okay, Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing are hired. Thomas Green, Michael Crane, Elizabeth Farrow, and Jack Keatings are no longer employed. Emily Seinfeld and Sam Cattrall were hired. Robert Logan is no longer employed. William Sams was hired. Susan Ford was hired under a special category that only existed for 1 year. That's suspicious. Oh, interpreter. You only needed her for 1 year, I guess. Presidential office refurbishment. Oh, didn't he say he bribed somebody to start a company in Brazil or something? Maybe that's what that was for. Presidential office refurbishment. Wow, this is a lot of expenses. Christmas tree bash, New Year's Eve ball, travel expenses, Australia, China, France, Brazil. So he did go to Brazil. 5 pieces flavor development, butterscotch, caviar. 4th of July spectacular, New Year's Eve ball. Interesting. The volatility continued. Many new employees didn't tend to stick around very long. Following changes, Terry O'Connor, Susan Ford has been moved to office staff. Wait, Susan Ford. Hold up. Wasn't Susan Ford the interpreter? Interesting. So she was moved to office staff. Douglas Rosenberg is no longer employed by Roottree. Edward Morrison and Robert Andrews were hired. Edward Morrison is no longer employed. Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice Watts are no longer employed. Linda Lewis and Angela Ingram were hired. Suspicious, yeah. Gwyneth Matson's no longer employed, but a Gwyneth Cattrall is now listed, so she changed to that. Susan Ford no longer works in this department. Oh, the interpreter department. She works now in the office, or whatever it was called. Just office staff. Wow, bunch more parties. What flavor even is this? Zigua? Strawberry? Caviar again? New Year's Eve. Grandorf Dove donation. Guy Hudson died in May of 1982, so the first few months of that year continued along the same pattern as they had been. Things quickly changed when Ernie took over. Most of the extraneous expenses ended, and all of the secretaries, most handpicked by Guy Hudson, were let go. Sam Matson left Roottree in 1984, so this is the last set of books you have access to. Okay. Carl Roottree joins as special management. Susan Ford is no longer employed by Roottree. So I think it's reasonable to say that Susan Ford... Ooh, work time temp. Temp agency. Fred Gleason. Root clothing reimbursement. Okay. So Susan Ford, I think, is someone that we need to add on here. So I don't know where to add her. I also feel like Cicely Sanchez might be someone. Yeah, 250K donation. I thought that too. Very suspicious. To the Grandorf, whatever thing it was. This is the Root Trees Are Dead, but this is part 2 called Roottreemania. Highly recommend if you like mysteries and filling in family trees. A lot of information. It's a very information heavy game. Okay, so Susan Ford, I'm not as confident. Yeah, let's look up the donation company, but I want to add Susan Ford somewhere on here. Oh, she might be his final one, actually, because she was right before he died, right? Or we think maybe she was before he died. I'll just put her up here. If we have to move her later, we can. Also, let's Google her really quick, or spider search her. Oops. I typed smiley face on accident. Susan Ford. Nothing. Okay. So now let's look up, what was Grandorf Dove donation. The Grandorf School for the Deaf, formerly Grandorf Dove, is located about an hour from where the Roottree offices used to be in Butler County, but it serves much of that part of Pennsylvania and nearby Ohio. According to the website, it was formerly named Grandorf Dove because Grandorf was the last name of the founder, and Dove is the Danish word for deaf. The founder had issues with government translators, leading to an odd transcription issue. In 1990, it was renamed to better represent the school's purpose and to correct the embarrassing lack of effort and awareness demonstrated by the government officials in those early days. The staff is listed on the website. You scan through all of the biographies and find that the principal, Miss Ford, Susan, is fluent in 5 languages, including ASL. She has been working at the school for over 15 years. Miss Ford's bio also mentions she is not deaf herself, but rather learned sign language to communicate with the deaf. It mentions that she was responsible for securing funding for the Hudson Wing. Oh. The Hudson Wing was an expansion to Grandorf Dove, now Grandorf School for the Deaf. First built in 1982, it's a separate, much smaller building, half a block from the main campus, and operates as a smaller independent school that offers free ASL courses for the family members, friends, and caretakers of deaf children. According to their history site, they got their name after the president of the Roottreemania Company generously donated $250,000 towards the construction of the building. There's also a very vague history section that you can somewhat fill in with details from the other information you've seen about the school. It mentions that the donation came at the insistence of an employee of Roottreemania at the time. It mentions that she learned ASL from the main school, before the Hudson Wing existed, to surprise her future husband, who was deaf. After realizing how useful a service like this could be to non-deaf people that wish to better serve those with hearing issues, she convinced Roottreemania management to invest in the school. The Hudson Wing opened and she became the first teacher at the new campus. At first, it only operated on weekends, but since then it had added afternoon classes on weekdays. Interesting. I keep cutting in and out? Oh no. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? On TikTok or on Twitch? Or is it only a YouTube thing? Let me know. Testing. Is it cutting in and out? No, you're not having any problem on TikTok? Good on TikTok? Perfect. And Twitch? Are we good on Twitch? Is my voice going in and out? Can you hear me? No idea. Twitch will answer eventually, hopefully. You had to leave and come back over on YouTube. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why YouTube's having an issue. Maybe try to reload it. Okay, so let's see. So I don't know exactly what this tells us. She was deaf. It sounds like, sorry, not she was deaf. That's not what it tells us. She had a husband who was deaf. Good on your end on Twitch. Okay. Good to know. So it must be a YouTube thing. If YouTube's not working, you can always switch over to Twitch or TikTok. My link to Twitch is in my bio, I believe, on YouTube. Or it's under Libby Lou, Libbyloo. Okay, so she learned ASL from the main school to surprise her future husband who was deaf, and then she convinced Roottreemania management to invest in the school. She's so suspicious to me. I guess, so she has a spouse, but it looks like she broke up with them. And we don't know what the spouse's name was. Probably her deaf husband. Okay. So what is this? From 6 pieces at prodigy.us. This is all the information I have about Regina Clementine Salazar from New Orleans, Louisiana, and her husband Stuart Clementine. She wrote me about a month ago. Apparently the Roottreemania lawyers went after her since then. By the time I received her letter and called her, she told me she couldn't cooperate anymore. Her husband, who was a police officer and never knew his father, told her he thought he might be a Roottreemania, but he's estranged from his family and didn't want to pursue it because he had no proof. She wrote to me behind his back. Normally I wouldn't be so sure that she had some pretty credible facts. Some of it I've been able to confirm. Stuart's mother was named Mary Beth Clementine. She was pretty well known in the 30s to 50s, a singer who went to tour to a lot of churches. Mary Beth Clementine. Okay, we're definitely looking her up in the periodicals. Let's try that maybe? Oops. Mary Beth Clementine was reviewed and advertised many times in Modern Music Monthly. The most popular recording was the release of her cover, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. It was released under the label New Edison. Modern Music Monthly had a very positive review of her cover, and the writer complimented her voice and the tone of her guitar. The review had nothing to say about Mary Beth herself, so it's not of much use to your investigation. There were also some other Mary Beth Clementine releases that appeared over the years. One of them was The Old Rugged Cross, which is the only song that was advertised but not reviewed. Okay. You can look her up online, and she was a pretty big proponent of adoption. Oh, Mary Beth Clementine. Let's spider search her. She traveled around the country performing at churches. Her repertoire was a mix of religious and popular songs. Although she recorded a few records, they seem lost to time. The only one you find mentioned was a cover of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. One thing Mary Beth was known for was her adoptions. She's listed on many sites that mention adoption and the history of adoption. She adopted 2 children in the late 1940s, Stuart and Mark. She also spoke as an advocate for the benefits of adoption in front of the United States Congress in 1949, who were convening to debate and discuss the then recent first adoption of an African American child to a white family in the United States. She was specifically there to detail her experience going through the system to adopt Stuart. Her other son was adopted later, and according to a single line on one adoption site, under unusual circumstances. In 1959, it surfaced that Mary Beth had been twice divorced, both times to her manager, Sterling. This ended her career with the religious audience she had been catering to, and while she performed occasionally since then, she mostly faded into obscurity. She passed away in 1994 at the age of 76 of a stroke. Ooh. Okay. So miracle, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So miracle. So this we know is Elias. This we're thinking is, now which miracle would have been during what years though? Wait, how do we know how old? It would have been here, right? 1949. Adopting Stuart. And in 59. Okay, so I think this would be accurate to say this is miracle. And he is a preacher. And she is, we don't have her picture. Mary Beth. What is her last name again? Crap, I forgot. Mary Beth Clementine. Oh, but she was married to Salazar? Stuart Clementine. Stuart's mother was named Mary Beth Clementine. She was a singer. So, here we go. I know for a fact that she came to Butler County a few times, and Regina said that Stuart told her that they always seem to spend a lot of time at the Miracle Church. She sent me a photo to prove that she's who she says she is. I've attached it to this email. Please consider saving a tree and not printing this email. Okay. This photo was given to you by Sam Madsen. A woman named Regina Clementine came to her and claimed that her husband has confessed he thinks he's a root tree. The details of this case can be found in your evidence. Stuart is the older boy wearing a vest. The woman in the photo is Mary Beth Clementine, a singer who may have had an affair with Miracle Root Tree. And who is this? Oh, this must be her husband? And that's her younger child. Okay. Interesting. Now, wouldn't we see... I guess we wouldn't see her adopted kids on here. Okay. So, Mary Beth Clementine, but we don't know her actual last name. Now, when we searched her online... Sterling. Oh, yeah, Sterling is her husband. Good catch. Sterling Clementine. So that's her husband, but we don't know her name. Now, she's a singer, right? Musician. And the picture is here. And then this picture is of him, I'm pretty sure. And then her kid. Now, Clementine is her last name because she adopted the children without her husband. And their last name is Clementine. Oh. She adopted them without her husband? I didn't know that. Then what's his? So I guess we just don't know his last name. And then Clementine. So in the picture, Stuart, they're thinking is Miracle's kid. And then this would be her other kid, perhaps? Okay, so then this is Stuart. Clementine. And we don't know his occupation, right? Where did that go? Was it in... Ah, here we go. Oh, his wife is Regina Salazar. Okay. Police officer. Okay. Stuart Clementine, and he's married to Regina Salazar. Yeah. So, I think that's correct. We don't know who this is. Is this... It's not adopted. It must be her kid with this guy. All right. So that's that. Have we looked up everything on this notable events thing? Oh, do we? We didn't look up Jane Doe, did we? I think we already, yeah, we read this. Spider search for root of all evil? Interesting. Okay. We looked it up on the periodicals, I think, but I don't think I spider searched it. Root of All Evil is a 5-piece debut album. According to various sources, the album is most of the material that 5-piece reported for his mixtapes before he became notable, but re-recorded with lyrical differences and professional production. All Your Problems was the first and only single released. After dropping the single, he announced he'd retained the infamous celebrity lawyer Stevie Whitlock to sue his family. To date, it doesn't seem like he's followed through. At first, the single didn't make much of a splash, but Whitlock, known for publicity stunts, paid thousands of teenagers a few dollars an hour to call and request the video on MTV, which increased its profile. MTV eventually caught on and banned the video altogether, which in turn received national news coverage and made the song even more popular. Who's Steve Whitlock? A lawyer with a history of publicity stunts and grandstanding. Still, she's managed... Oh, Stevie, so it's a she. She's managed to rack up quite a few legal victories for C-list celebrities and athletes. She became famous in the mid-1980s after successfully suing a multinational sandwich company, whose 12-inch subs were actually an average of 11.5 inches long. Stevie argued that since the company sold 1 billion sandwiches per year, that was enough missing sandwich to make a sub long enough to span from New York to Los Angeles. The jury awarded her a paltry $5,000, but the news coverage of her crusade turned out to be priceless. Unfortunately, none of this seems related to the Roottrees. Okay, so why was that helpful? Why did it want me to... Oh, it mentioned a song. Oh, this song. Okay. This track is the only new song on the album. The subject matter of the song is the hypocrisy of those that claim money is evil. He points out that the only people who think money is evil are those that have it, those that can afford not to be greedy. In the song, 5-piece triumphantly talks about taking the Roottree's wealth due to it being his birthright and giving it to those who need it most. You find a copy of the song on a suspicious-looking website and download it to your records. Okay. Attention, Roottrees. This is 5-piece coming at you from the real world. You say money is the root of all your problems. Root of all your problems. Hypocrite sitting back in your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it based on your family's creations. But looky here. Sonny, don't come for her money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick and her two dads. My pappy's clanted trust should keep you away. It's disturbing catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners because we didn't earn it. When all your worth it came free with your name, you expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead I turn my other cheeks and spread them? When you give me a kiss, you know just where to aim. You say money is the root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away. Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. Silver spoons feed you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burn their spoons for the needle. So once more with passion, tell this poor tragic orphan how your mansions and Porsches are actually horrible, how I'm better off penniless, grasping for morsels, how wanting my share, that's actually extortion. Candy-ass name synonymous with sweets. You want to call me classless, some gangster from Portland, but I play that game. I cave up on the streets. The only streets you rep in are Park Place and Boardwalk. Hypocrisy, monopoly, toppling. When I knock, have jeeps, I'll take off my pockets. The same God that got to steal my money from me. If that's what he wants, right? For you to live in poverty. Okay, is there anything? Class actions, courtrooms, decorum, my way past your fancy-ass doorman. Bring the choir in. Money is the root of all your problems. You say money. Okay. Remember when MTV actually had music? Yeah. Okay, I don't understand. We can play this, by the way.
Attention, Roottrees. This is 5-piece coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems.
Children's choir arranged and recorded by One Voice Mix. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna actually listen to this. Okay, so I don't understand how this is helpful. Reminders in your evidence goes over the most important people and events. One of the people mentioned in your reminders is Caroline Morton. She seems like someone who would have spoken up about everything going on. Okay, spider search for Caroline Morton. Caroline Morton did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Caroline and some of her family members. Oh, interesting. 45 minutes instead of 60 minutes. This was a cable news interview. A transcript of only Caroline's answers has been posted on a site about television. Hello. Do you need something? She's bringing her toy over. You guys can probably hear her. She was squeaking it in the background. Hey. Thanks for having me. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all her tractors, but I don't really think it fit her narrative. Okay, so that was... She's talking about Sam. Yes and no, they never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. Oh, because she was gay? Because she was lesbian? I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife, not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and had just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better... Wait. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. Hold up. He's saying hi to Willow. Yeah, she's whining in the background. Hey. You wanna come say hi? Oh. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Hello. Hello. I put her toy up because she was squeaking it like crazy. And now she wants it, so she's whining. Hey, what's up? What's up? Okay. So you guys understand what she's saying here? I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. So... what is it trying to say? Is it trying to say that basically... did she have an affair with Guy? But weren't they related? So she met a woman. He lost a tooth and a client. So she met a woman. Wait. Is it the guy? Wait, is it the person that Guy was having an affair with? Her now wife. Ah, wait, so was her now wife having an affair with Guy? So he lost a tooth and a client. I think this might be Susan Ford. Because I think, oh, she said Europe though, so maybe not. Well, maybe Susan Ford also went to Europe. No, not Susan Ford. What else could it possibly mean? I left my daughter with my ex-husband, followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. I have her wife in the top tree, which means she could go... well, there's nobody else down here that's... oh, true. So she can't be down here. Okay. So... this is so hard. Could it be that she didn't actually meet her wife, but she, like, slept with whoever Guy was sleeping with? I don't know. I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. Wait, was she with Guy? Hold up. Who are we looking at here? This is Caroline Morton. And Guy... oh, wait, so they're not related. Are they not related? No, they're... wait. I'm so confused. They're cousins. They are related. They're cousins, yeah. So they're cousins, and they went to... not the saxophone music again. Yeah, they're cousins, and they both worked for Roottreemania, and they went to Europe together. Ugh, the saxophone music again. So they went to Europe together. The part that we don't understand is her saying he lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. I guess maybe that has nothing to do with anything. I don't know. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. Oh, well, he's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk, or high, or both, all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than Guy's, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope that I'm never that boring and old. So who's she talking about there? So Guy... so she mentioned Guy, but we don't really know... the client is her wife. Okay, so it basically we don't need anything from that information because they're already both in the tree up above. Interesting. Lauren was your best source of information. Oh. Search the public library for A Life Between Wars by Lauren Roottreemania. Oh, okay. A Life Between Wars. Lauren Roottreemania. Okay. There's a single passage that focuses on potential affairs in her immediate family you've added to the rest of your evidence. Okay. Where did it go? An entry entitled Cruelty from Lauren Roottreemania's diary, written in 1963. It focuses on the relationship between her mother and father. While it offered only redundant information during your previous investigation, it mentions the subject of affairs and may be more useful this time around. I'm no stranger to true love. Jacob and I married at an age that most deem unfit for marriage, but he was also enlisting at an age that most deem unfit for war. We had no choice. I knew in my heart that our marriage was one for the ages. He and I would still be together today if not for Okinawa. That was nearly 20 years ago, but there is an emptiness in my soul. I do not understand my contemporaries. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many of my girlfriends' husbands have been unfaithful. If I'm able to remain true to the ghost of a man with no chance of physical, reciprocation, no potential for long conversation, how could it be so hard to love someone you can reach out and touch, someone you can joke with? I've not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. In turn, Pop's status enables her incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with their cruelty and disdain for others my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. They make fun of my grandpop and his family sayings, blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, please remember them. Not even our family's maladies and religion go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle. I can say without a doubt in my mind that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. Interesting. So this doesn't give us any information, does it? I mean, I don't understand how that gave us any information. Okay. Chris Rapp 75 at prodigy.us. Chris Rapp 75 at prodigy.us. Chris Rafferty's Prodigy site seem to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pictures of his cousins. Instead, it's a list of questions that people kept emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me, and now he calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me about things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we aren't close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory's weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5 and in the office with my dad, and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate, and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that come from the picture or not. The photo has been added to your evidence. Ooh. This photo was on Chris Rafferty's website. According to Chris, it's a photo of him, his father, and Guy Hudson. While they were distracted, he snuck into the supply of chocolate they kept for visitors and tours. Chris Rafferty did not know who the woman in the photo was. So his father was Clark Rafferty. So we don't have Clark on here. Or like we have Guy, so this is another picture of Guy. And we also have a picture of, so we have a picture of Clark and we have a picture of now Chris Rafferty, which is this guy right here. Interesting. Well, it actually is time for me to go. Let me save this really quick. Wow, this is so much information to process. This is so much information. But we will be back next Wednesday. I definitely will have to rewatch this video back through and remember everything before next time. But you guys will also be here to help me out, I hope. This one is definitely, massively harder than the first one. It might take me longer. But I do like that it has the hints. I mean, you guys know I'm a sucker for hints. If I get really stuck or if my brain is just tired, I'll use the little rubber ducky for hints. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. And I will see you guys on Friday for Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm very excited for. And I will try to do house makeup this time. I didn't get a chance last Friday, but I will try to this Friday. So you'll have to see whether I do. Let's see, I have Gryffindor and I was about to say Raventree. Playing Roottrees for too long. Ravenclaw left. So it'll be one of those two. But anyway, I will see you on Friday, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Alrighty, bye-bye.